This is my father fish tank fail, and it's not a 100% fail. One of the reasons why it is a fail is because I have this high area right here. The reason for this is I connected this piece and the piece that goes down there, and they're facing opposite directions. It was one piece that went from right there all the way down and then back that way, and I cut it and turned it. So I wanted to hide that area. I was going to put a piece of moss on it, but I decided to bury it. And what I used is a compressed pack organic premium garden mix for the bottom layer. It's got lots of fine sediment in it. I built it up and then poured the sand on it, and the sand wouldn't cover it, so it kept floating out. And basically right there is where all the sediment came from. Right now I have 10 goldfish in here. I know those aren't really gold, but well, I guess they could be gold. But I've got those in there, and the water was extremely clear. It's extremely cloudy at the moment, but from what Father Fish said, I put leaves in here. I put the leaves in the back, and the leaves that I put in here were muddy and murky. That is the main thing that made my water so cloudy. I'm hoping that it clears up. All I have is this filter right now. Since I'm in the beginning stages, I have no aeration bubbles in here at the moment, but I have those coming on the Amazon truck. This is a 75 gallon, and I think that it's got this sediment everywhere. It would look a lot nicer if that wasn't there, but it does make it look more natural having the sediment on the bottom, and that's what I'm looking for. I wanted this to look like you're looking down into a river or a lake. So, and I'm going to get plants, of course. I'm getting val grass and putting back behind there where the leaves are. And I'm going to get dwarf hair grass and put as a carpet here. I'm going to start right there, hoping, because I've got it, it's trying to come out. I've got it. I'm thinking if I get some roots established and some grass growing in this area, that it'll hold it together. The only problem with this is I ended up putting a huge thick layer of sand to keep it covered up, and the roots won't be able to reach the soil under there. But I do have it built up, so maybe it'll work out. Who knows? This is my aquarium. As I said, I'm happy with it, except for the little bit of sediment everywhere and the cloudiness from the leaves. Those are two things that I could have avoided, but I was just wasn't thinking. This driftwood are two pieces of driftwood that I found in the Arkansas River on my way to work, and the sand is pool filter sand from Quikrete. It is an unnatural looking sand because it is more of a white color than regular sand, and And like I said, this is the compost mix. I wouldn't recommend, I don't know if I would recommend using that or not. Maybe I just didn't get it wet enough. I don't know. But if you were, I wanted there to be waves in it, so it looked like the waves from the water had made those. And if you were just going to make it flat and pour the sand on it, I probably wouldn't have had any of that trouble, especially if I wasn't doing that up there. I wouldn't have had that trouble. But this is the beginning stages of my father fish tank, and of course, like as most of you know, Father Fish says that you can just throw fish in there, but I'm going to let it settle. I'm going to wait several weeks before I put the fish that I want in there. And if you're wondering about this setup, I paid $130. This 75-gallon brand new tank was on sale at Petco. I built the stand. It's pretty crude. It's built out of 2x4s and 1x4s at the bottom. And then the light cost $16. It was on sale at Harbor Freight. So that's what I've got going on right now. I have the air pump. That's a double air pump, and it's coming in, and a couple of sponge filters that I'm going to put in it. And I also have a wave maker that I'm going to put over in one of the corners. But overall I'm happy with it because of the size. Now, one thing about this is I am in a small camper trailer. If you've ever heard of Hurricane Katrina and FEMA trailers, that's what I'm in. And this is not level. It was level when I set it up, but now there's obviously this side would be lower because there's a gap right there. The water level is going that way. But all in all, you know, I mean, I really, even just with the goldfish, if they weren't such nasty fish that produce so much waste, I would just they're beautiful. I love watching these things. I'd get 10 more and put them in here, especially with the color that they are. So this is my setup. Just wanted to show you my father fish method. I mean, we're not really going to be able to see how effective it is until later when I get the plants in it and things of that nature. But here it is. Thanks for watching. God bless. This thing has been the father fish nightmare. That is a wave maker. I bought it. I turned it on. Just plug it in. It didn't move. I touched the fan blade inside and it started barely moving. And I could tell it wasn't working. It was not making waves. So I just sort of left it on to circulate the water a little bit. And it was pointed from right here down to right in here. And during the middle of the night, at some point in time, it started working properly, and it pushed all of the sand away and exposed all of this nasty junk particle. So it's been a complete nightmare. This thing is falling down more and more. I've got it on right now to circulate the water. I've got this sponge filter in today, but this thing, it looked so beautiful when I started, and now it looks awful. So I'm really disappointed, but you live and you learn. Neon tetras in this tank. Today is May the 2nd. And the zebra danios, I've had them in there for a few days, and neon tetras were put in yesterday, and I was a little bit disappointed yesterday when I put the neon tetras in, because they're just such bright colors. The zebra danios, if you look very close, those stripes on them are actually a blue color. If you look real close, from further away they look black. They just blend in with the natural look of this aquarium, and the neon tetras, they stand out so much. I'm glad though that I've got them. They bring some color to it. The next fish that I get will be rosy red minnows that I'll introduce. That's one of my little sucker fishes. I have 2 of them, and I'm gonna get about 3 more. Right here, it's dwarf hairgrass. That one's like a mini Amazon or something like that grass, and I can't remember the name of the one in the back there. It's like a smaller jungle val, and then in the back you can see that's jungle val, and it's melting away. Hopefully here in a few months, of course, I don't know if I mentioned, but that's the mermaid weed. You know what? Oh, and then the pearl weed. That's the little pearl weed that I've got growing right there. It's supposed to carpet too. So with all these plants that are supposed to carpet, especially the dwarf hairgrass, hopefully I will end up having a nice carpet in this tank. It's good. It's getting lots of algae in it because I'm keeping the lights on. I'm keeping the lights on to try to jumpstart the growth of the plants. One thing that I heard that you can do to increase the speed of plant growth, you can see how green it looks now, is you can cut them. So I'm going to let these get established for a few days, and then I'm going to cut them off, and that should jumpstart their growth, hopefully. And I've very much enjoyed sitting here. It's cold in here. I've got a heater in the tank. It's not near big enough for this tank, but it's keeping it adequate enough for these fish. And I've really enjoyed this 75-gallon thus far, and I'm excited to see the mermaid weed grow up and hopefully sort of cover up that filter there and just make it look more natural. I'm going to do a water change. Today I'm buying one of the magnets that go on there that you can clean the glass with. And then this weekend, probably after I trim the dwarf hairgrass and maybe some more, I don't know, probably just the dwarf hairgrass mainly, I'll do a water change and clean the front glass, and it'll look a lot better. But all those ramhorn snails, there was a lot more green algae growing on the wood, but after I've got all these ramhorn snails in there that I got from another tank, they've actually done quite a good job, and maybe even the little sucker fish that I bought too. So this is just a little documentary about my tank, and this is sort of for myself, but if you watch this, hopefully you enjoy it. The wave maker I got up there, I doubt I'll probably very seldom use it. It just stirs stuff up in here, so I don't know if I made a good decision buying that. It was only $7 or $8 off of Amazon, but anyway, I may use it in the future. We'll just have to see. So there you go. That's my update, and I hope everyone has a great day. God bless. There's just always been something really intriguing to me about a fish aquarium. but I always heard about the water changes and the stuff that you had to put in the water, and the aerator, the filter, all that stuff overwhelmed me because I'm a simple-minded guy and I can't get involved with anything that's too complex. But after I bought my first, or was given my first aquarium, just a little old 10-gallon, and I found out how fun it was, and then after doing research and finding out how easy that they are to maintain, I just absolutely love it. I've been sitting in here for probably the past hour just watching these fish. I have 10 or 12 of the neon tetras, and the other fish, those are called zebra danios. And in the back there I think they're called Chinese algae eaters. I did have 6 of them. I think one of them died. The reason why I say think one of them died is because of the fact, there goes one on the rock, just went and hid behind the rock. They look a lot like the zebra danios from a distance. The reason why I say I think one of them died is because I found a fish floating at the top of the water, and since it was dead, it was hard to identify what kind it was. One of the most amazing things that has taken place with this tank, I've had the zebra danios. If you look at them now, you'd say, well, they're like a goldish color and black with a black stripe, but they're actually a goldish color, and if you look close enough, their stripe is blue. They're very beautiful, and they are very active fish. They're just constantly running around everywhere, going from place to place. They're never still. The wood came from the Arkansas River. The rocks came from locally, and one of the things that I have in here is dwarf hairgrass, and eventually this is just going to cover the entire bottom of the tank. You can see I planted these places like that, but you've got stray blades coming up. See, right there's the Chinese algae eater. They've turned into a beautiful fish. Once you get a fish in your aquarium compared to in the pet store, they're a lot prettier. He's a goldish brown with a black stripe, and they keep the tank clean. Anyway, with the dwarf hairgrass, you can see it's coming in. The same thing with this plant here. This is called pearl weed, and it's supposed to just cover the entire ground. I have it up here, and it's very important to have here because this is one piece of wood that goes right like that, and this is the same piece of wood. It was a long piece of wood, but I cut it about right there, and instead of it going that way, now I turned it around and glued it together. So this sand is covering up and hiding the place that was cut and glued together. This is just another nice piece of wood, driftwood, that I found by the Arkansas River, and I connected them together, glued them down with the rocks. The other plants in the back are some that I got from my other tanks. I believe the one in the back there that you see, it's called an Aquarius. This plant over here is called mermaid weed. I actually bought that. This plant is, I can't remember the name of it, but I bought it, found it real cheap on the internet. That's called hornwort. It's very fast growing, and I got it from another tank. And in the very back is one that I got from my own tanks, the grass. It's called jungle val. And the reason for all these plants is because obviously it's going to be beautiful when this is nothing but grass and greenery through here. Not only that, but when the fish pee, I guess fish pee, when the fish produce waste, pee and poop, it falls down into here, and then it's going to dissolve into the sand, and then the plants will use up the waste as fertilizer. This is sand, it's pool filter sand, and this is potting soil. This tank has suffered with an algae problem because I put the plants in there, and then I turn the lights on and let the lights on. When you've got too much light, you've got algae problems. This is a wave maker, but it is extremely powerful, and I can't even turn it on very much. But whenever I plugged it up, at first it didn't work, and I had it pointed down, and it was just barely moving, circulating water, and I left it on because I thought that's all it was going to do. But all of a sudden it kicked on, and it shot down, and it made a huge mess in this tank. I was so discouraged. This is a filter in the back, and it's really filthy because of that. I'm actually going to get a canister filter for this tank, and it'll be a filter that sucks the water in over here, and it'll go down underneath here into a canister that has filters, and it'll come out right there, and it'll make a circular motion through the tank and produce clean water. I'm going to get rid of those other filters, and that's a heater right here in the corner, and I'll put it over here where it's sucking the water in, and it'll suck warm water in, and it'll help distribute it throughout the tank. And hopefully, once everything is established, I will have to do very few water changes. Now, there's no lid on this tank, it's just water. And the lids, the covers that go right there, are like 20 some odd bucks a piece. So I could be looking at $50 just for the lids that go on there. The tank was only $130. It's $260 right now, but I got it half off at Petco. I built the stand out of 2x4s myself. It didn't cost very much. So what I'm going to do is I found someone who has an old window for sale for $5, a pretty big window for sale for $5, and I bought a glass cutter, and I'm going to just cut a piece of glass to fit this top here. It's going to be 2 pieces. There's a divider in the middle, and I'm going to just cut the glass and put it in there myself, and that will keep some of the evaporation from the water there. So this is my tank. I've got lots of shrimp in this tank. I don't know, I probably won't be able to find one. There's one right up there. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. There's one right there. And the shrimp, they're part of the cleanup crew. It's eating algae and all the things that make my tank look dirty. Those ramhorn snails, I have no idea where it came from, but there was a bunch of them in a tank, so I caught them and put a bunch of them in here. They help keep the tank clean as well as the algae eater. So I basically got an ecosystem working here. I only feed the tank, only feed the fish on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I just feed them these cheap vitamin C enriched goldfish flakes, and they love it. This morning I've witnessed one of the most amazing things with this tank yet, and right over here there was a little bitty baby fish. I mean, it was so small that I could hardly even see it, and what part of it, or what most of its body was translucent. It was clear, and I'm assuming it has to be one of those zebra danio fish babies. They could lay, as an adult, up to 300 eggs at a time. And they would just go through maybe the back laying eggs. But the problem is, that they would go back through and eat the eggs. So maybe it's some that they laid and didn't get eaten. I don't know. I guess I'm going to get some more fish. I mean, this tank, it's got a lot more room for a lot more fish. I don't want to overload it, but since I'm using small fish, I'm going to get some more fish, and they are called white clouds, and they're actually a type of minnow, and I'm going to probably get 10 of them, and I may get a few more of a little bit of a bigger fish, but I'm happy with what I've got right now. I don't want a bunch of big fish in here, or I really don't want any big fish. The fish I'm looking at is a type of tetra, and it's a medium-sized fish. I wanted to go with the natural look on everything, like when somebody looks at this, which I'm mainly the only one that looks at it. When somebody's looking at this, it's like you're looking down into the Arkansas River or somewhere. But I just could, in the neon tetras, they sort of stick out and they don't fit in with that type of scene. But I just love those fish, and they're some of the best, most popular fish. They're really hardy and forgiving, as well as the zebra danios that I have. And the other ones I'm looking at the same way, because I am a complete beginner at this. I just started the hobby in January, and here we are in May. January, February, March, April, May. So I've just been at it a few months, but it's very enjoyable. It's very relaxing, and after you get it initially set up and going, there's really not much to it. It's just mainly sitting back and enjoying it. I was wondering, does anybody know how long this wood might last? Now this is some pretty solid wood. If you could look at that spot right there where a beaver chewed on it, this is pretty solid stuff, and you can tell right there, right up here, there's still bark on it. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but I was wondering, I figure it'll probably last, 20 years in there. I'm not sure. But this is my tank. I just wanted to share it with you on my channel. I know I'm usually just shrimp and wood, but in this I've got lots of shrimp in there. There's probably over 20 shrimp. They're the mixed color shrimp, and then the wood from the Arkansas River. I have another piece of wood out there that's really awesome, and I wish I had a tank to put it in, but I don't. So yeah, this is it. This is sort of a document for myself too. But I'm excited to see what this is going to look like when everything fills in. It is very dirty, and some of the black stuff, when I bought those plants, they had been in the black diamond sandblasting sand, and it was still on the roots, so it got in the bottom of the tank. But like I said, I'm not worried about it, because it's gonna be covered up anyway. As far as water changes, I guess this tank's a couple of weeks old, and I've only done one partial water change because it was really dirty, and the wood will leach some color out into the water. The only thing that I don't have in here that I wish that I could put more of is leaves, dead leaves out of my pond, and I just can't put many in here because I want the grass to be able to grow everywhere. So that's my tank. I hope you like it, and tell me, or I would say show me what your tank looks like, but you can't. So anyway, you can leave a link to your video, and I'll look at it later. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take that out and just get some little bitty sponge filters that you can't hardly see, and put one there, and I don't know, put a couple back there to produce the aeration, and then also clean the water some too. But I'll take those out when I get the big canister filter. It's like 60 something bucks just getting a cheap one, but it'll work well. And what the plan is hopefully that jungle val that I have growing in the back. It's crazy because this stuff here, I ordered it, and I think it came from Louisiana or somewhere, and I planted it, and it looks great. But the jungle val that I just took out of the other room and brought it straight in here and planted it, it's like melted and looks absolutely awful. So that was sort of weird. But I know the jungle val with the roots, it'll sprout up new stuff and look great. So this is my tank. All right, well, I'll let y'all go. God bless. Well, I am definitely a beginner. I just bought this can filter down there, and it works wonderful. There's the intake down there, and there's where it flows out, but it works a little bit too good. This thing has got stuff flying all around my tank. My fish are struggling to swim. I don't know what I've done wrong. I did notice that this is a 75-gallon tank, but the canister filter is rated for 100 gallons, but I didn't think it would make that much of a difference. Can anybody give me a recommendation of what exactly I should do to slow down the rate so this thing will settle down a little bit? Because right here, it don't look like it's just... Chaplain provided support through visitation and spiritual song. Chaplain visited patient at Stonebridge Assisted Living, period. Patient was sitting in day room with other patients, period. Chaplain provided support through visitation and spiritual song, period. There are no unmet needs noted at this time, period. Chaplain provided support through visitation and spiritual song. Chaplain visited patient in at Southridge Village Nursing and Rehab, period. Patient was sitting in jerry chair, awake and alert, but minimally responsive, period. Chaplain provided support through visitation and spiritual song, period. There are no unmet needs noted at this time, period. There are no changes to plan of care, period. Sorry, I just stopped. I did catch one of them eating one of my shrimp. There is currently a shrimp in there that has eggs. That's cool. You know, these are the neon tetras. There's 12 of those, 12 of the black skirt tetras, and there are 10 zebra danios. I've had this tank for several weeks now. There's a snail all the way up at the top. That's the utmost part of the tank. he or she made it to the pinnacle. I've had this tank for several weeks now. I haven't had any fish die. As far as plants go, that is an Aquarius in the back, one of the cheapest aquarium plants you can buy. I bought mine from the local Petco. This is dwarf hairgrass. There is going to be a carpet because this is a father fish tank. Water lettuce was covered. I've got 4 Chinese algae eaters. That's one right there. Just swam off of the log. The 2 pieces of driftwood came from the Arkansas River. That's just stone. That's from here locally. You can see there's a shrimp on it. And got a little piece of hornwort right there. I've been fighting algae in this tank. About got it under control. Let me see what else. Dwarf hairgrass. This is some type of, like, it's not jungle val. It's some type of miniature something. That up there is pearlweed. I was trying to do a carpet with it. Everything is doing okay. I got a little pearlweed right here. I got some other jungle val, as you can see, one right there. It's in the back. I planted several, and for some reason it all melted, and the Aquarius got so big that I don't even know if the jungle val's doing okay back there. Got the potting soil there, the Pro Mix Organic. Struggled with that at first. Tried to make it look like waves, and then the hill, that's a piece of driftwood glued together. The hills, they all sort of leveled out on me. It did look cool. It was actually hills under there, but after everything going on, they leveled out. I got some cool bubblers there off of Amazon. Aerators. And the lights, they came from Harbor Freight. They were like 16 bucks a piece. I've got 2 of them up there. The stand, I built it myself out of 2x4s. So I was trying to put the least amount of money as possible into this tank, but I still have quite a bit in it. I mean, I've got quite a bit in the plants that are in it. The fish, they're all cheap fish. They didn't, none of the fish in here cost over $3 a piece. Probably didn't cost over $2.50. I got them from PetSmart, most of them. Some of them were on sale. The black skirt tetras were on sale. But I bought the algae scraper cleaner magnet thing. But I've just really enjoyed this tank, and with it only being a few weeks old, I can't wait to see what it's going to do. I should have documented what I got going on with it and the time I have in it, all that stuff. But I've just been enjoying it, folks. I've just been sitting out here and enjoying this tank, and that's one of the reasons I haven't posted anything lately. I have my shrimp tanks in the back, and I took a small net, and put some food in it. When I went in there and there were a bunch of shrimp eating, I just scooped them up and came and dumped them in here because I just wanted to have them to enjoy them. This thing is one thing that I bought. I guess it's some type of loach or something. I bought 2 of them, and man, I like it, and it's cool, and it comes out, but it's really messed up my sand. For someone who wanted an aquascape, it just sort of, it dug down real deep right there, and I wish that I wouldn't have got those. And they were the most expensive fish that I've probably ever bought. I do have some more expensive fish that I want to show you, but just not right now. So I've got the cichlids, some blood parrots, and some other kinds. I don't even know what they are, but I got them at a package deal, really cheap. So I'll show those to you in a coming video, but wanted to share this aquarium with you and just show it off, because I've been enjoying it, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you got any questions or comments about the tank, just let me know. I hope you have a great day. God bless. Good morning. This is Shrimp and Wood, and as you can see, right there's my shrimp. Right there's the shrimp. And right there's the wood. This is my father fish aquarium. I've had it for a few weeks now. Just really enjoying it. Got the cam filter there. Can't remember the name of it. It's the same as a Sun. One thing about this filter, if you ever get it, you want to slow the flow down. It's this right here is actually, even though you pop the hoses on and off with it, this is actually a setting to pull it up. Slows the flow. I just pulled it up. You push it down, it flows faster. In this tank, I have, of course, the blue, really cool. That flows a little bit too much. I put a bunch in here. There goes one right there on the wood. And these are black skirt tetras. I love those fish. They're really awesome. But I did catch one of them eating one of mine.